Hello and welcome to episode 30 of the Livewire Game Show. It's taken 30 episodes, 32-ish weeks. I'm the last man standing. Yeah!
Hasn't missed a single one.
I can take a week off now. No, it's just me and Dill this week. Stephen is very, very busy. His PC is probably in the back of the car somewhere with
on the way to a dump.
On the way. No. So Stephen can't make it this week, so just me, myself, and Dylan, and we're gonna talk about the Destiny 2 showcase for Witch Queen that was on Tuesday, and also we'll touch on the new season stuff for Season of the Lost. For what it's worth, we won't be talking about anything that was leaked. We'll only be talking about stuff that was officially revealed, so you don't need to worry about leaky spoilers here.
I apologize in advance if I get my wires crossed and say something that wasn't leaked or was leaked, but
it'll be cut out. Don't worry, I'll cut out anything that shouldn't be there. Before we get into it, we'll have a quick catch up. We're gonna try keep it to a tight time limit tonight because we both have stuff that has to be done, so we will try keep it tight tonight. But we'll have a quick catch up before we get into the Witch Queen stuff because there's a lot to talk about in that, and I'm very excited. And if he starts barking, I'm going to have to jump up for a second. Anyway, Dale, what have you been up to for the last 2 weeks?
2 weeks? Oh, I missed last week, didn't I? I can't even remember last week. You guys done Returnal.
For 3 hours.
I watched the first hour or so, and then I was kind of like, I want to keep the rest of it for my playthrough, which is getting close. Because
spoilers.
He's got into it, I think that's when I stopped it. It was when you were talking about something. I can't remember what it was. But, yeah, just been playing Destiny actually quite a bit because of the new season and Witch Queen just hyped up for what's coming, which is amazing, but we'll talk about that later. Playing the usual, just Fortnite, Apex, playing more Godfall, which I think playing more Godfall makes you want to play less Godfall because it's going in the direction that everyone is criticizing, and it's getting to that stage where it's very hard to overlook the bad parts,
the flaws,
and I have a good time doing that. Like, I never stop talking about it. Avengers, like, that's so abused, like, publicly from all the big content creators. But yeah, I loved it. But Godfall, I'm really finding it hard to get into it. Like, the world is great. Some of the bosses are great. Like, the boss fights, I know I haven't played a Souls-like game, but they really are unforgiving. Like, you fuck up a dodge and that's it. You're caught in his kind of tree attack kind of pattern. So it is very unforgiving in that sense. And the boss fights are great, but it's all the bits in between. Like, it's very samey. It's
the fundamentals of the game.
Yeah, it's like they said, right, let's just make really cool boss fights and a really, like, visually enticing world, but everything else around that, it's just like we're gonna just half-arse it.
And I think that's the difference. That's the difference, I think, between Godfall and what you said, Avengers. What is good about Avengers is the fundamental stuff.
Yeah. It's
fun to play. It's got other issues, but actually playing as the characters is enjoyable.
Yeah, you really feel like you're flying around as Iron Man or Thor and using your hammer and stuff like that, which there's a lot of kind of micromanaging in this as well. Like, you have your what are they called, charms, and then you have your plates for your armor, and then the amount of weapons that you drop, it's like Borderlands level, where it's just like crazy amounts, and they're different types, and it's kind of fallen off for me a little bit, and which is unfortunate because I'm trying to give it that chance. I'm kind of a good bit into the story as well, and the story is decent, but it's there we go. But it's getting through that, which is kind of hard. And there we go again.
Yeah, have a good idea.
Stop playing Godfall. I jumped back on Spider-Man for a little bit just to do more collectibles and stuff like that. Not gonna put the platinum word on it, but I'm enjoying my post-game time in it. Other than that,
it's fun to just fly around the Spider-Man.
And
it's such an enjoyable. It's just to fly around the Spider-Man, kick the shit out of somebody, move on to the neck, and fly around. Yeah, it's fun.
And that's the one thing I really like about it. Like, you have your app and you can have your crimes in progress type thing, but if you're just flying around, like, it's not marked on the map, but it'll come up as like a public event type thing, which is close. Once you hit that threshold of being in the 100 meters or whatever like that, it activates, which is really cool because it gives it that sense of like you're in a living kind of world, which is cool. But other than that, no, nothing major. Doing a bit of reading. That's it. I'm back in work on Monday, so I am dreading the lack of games I'm going to be playing over the next while. I won't be able to.
You got your roster for it, did you?
Yeah, I'm in for 3 days on Monday. Well, from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then I'm on standbys for the rest of the week. So it's just nice to have that kind of back to normal. Well, some sort of routine, kind of way. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So my World of Warcraft subscription got cancelled, which will probably never be touched.
I know what you mean.
Like, go off again.
Like I feel the same about Final Fantasy 14. Like I haven't played it since I can't remember what it was since I did those few dungeons with Steven. But I haven't not played it because I don't want to play it. It's not because I don't want to play it. It's just I have to fucking look after the dog and then play my other stuff, go see my family, fucking go football training, and it's just kind of like, where do I fit this in?
Time. Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it's the right time. While I enjoyed what I played, and I don't think it's the right time for me to commit to something like that. So, but
with those kind of
games,
games,
what you mean. You need it.
It is a commitment. Yeah. Like I don't think I would have ever tried WoW in a normal working person's like day to day, that kind of way. I don't know how anyway, unless it's your die-hard game.
Yeah. Like I think if I didn't play Destiny, and Bungie hadn't showed me all they showed us on Tuesday, I think I could commit to something, but I'll get back into it now and get through the MSQs, but it's just like I don't think I could commit the time.
Yeah.
For I just don't think I can at the moment. 6 months ago maybe, but like having another living thing in the house that is literally relying on you for food is just
it's nice having one of those things that it's gonna be there. Like if you ever want like a deep dive into another world, it's always there.
Just don't tell Steven I said that. He won't watch this, so it's okay.
We'll edit that part out if he decides to. Yeah. What have you been up to?
Apart from
Destiny.
I think from last week, but obviously we did playing a lot of Destiny this week. I took yesterday off work just because I knew I was going to stay up mega late on Tuesday. I think that's the first season ever that launched without a server crash. Maybe, I don't know, I can't remember. There was issues, of course, but we had a good night, so it was up late Tuesday
compared
night.
To what we're used to as well. It wasn't anyway as bad.
Yeah. No, there was some parts that were frustrating, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been or has been previously. So it launched very well. It wasn't a Rise of Iron. Fuck, that was a painful one. I'm trying to think. Like, I spoke last year. I started playing a bit of Death Stranding.
Oh yeah.
Finally, I started playing some of that, and I was.
You're playing it on the OLED, aren't you?
I'm playing it on PC to the big TV. Yeah, it's like
nice.
It's a phenomenal looking game. Like it's
it's
the benchmark for visuals in computer games. Like it's incredible looking, and all the way that it works, the mechanics of it are all fantastic. It's a weird one. It's kind of like
you don't know how to accept it, don't you know?
Yeah, and I think it might be a bit of a hot take, but I think if any other developer in the world made this game or that game, I don't think they get away with it as much.
Yeah,
I think Hideo Kojima has kind of earned a certain level of respect from gaming and from gamers and from journalists. I think that they've kind of gone, it's just Kojima.
Yeah, he can do his artist expressions type way.
He can do it, and they just accept it and they embrace it for what it is. But like, what you're kind of playing it, and I'm not that far into it, obviously, because it's fairly long. I think I'm about 4 or 5 hours in. So that's 3.5 hours worth of cutscenes and 45 minutes worth of games. But I'm more intrigued by it and where it's going than enjoying it, if that makes sense.
It's one of those things I found, like, the character development. Like, when you get introduced to these characters, like Hardman and stuff like that, you want to know their story.
Yeah.
That was my take from it. It was like, I wanted to progress their side missions because I want to know why they're doing what they're doing or why they're here, and that was a massive pull, I think, for me.
Yeah, like, and even Sam's story. I want to know where this goes. I want to see where it's going. I want to know more about the world. I want to know what caused all this. I want to know more about the BTs. Yeah. I'm intrigued. And it's not to say I'm not enjoying it, but it's not like when you're, I don't know, running around in an FPS just going, haha, shoot everything, this is fun.
Yeah.
I'm not having fun, but it has its hooks in me. I want to see where it's going to go.
Like, there's no satisfying culmination at the end of missions, or like when you do a delivery or anything. It's just the
Metal Gear Solid flash screen up of your mission report. Yeah.
But I found it's one of those things, when you're playing it, you have to just keep playing it. Like, it's not one of those you can start it and then come back 2 or 3 months later and then continue it, because like it's just like I said, there's so much going on that it is intertwined really well. I think with not the side missions being too side missiony and taking you away from the main.
Yeah, like, I like how they're done.
Yeah, and they're all like the main characters.
They're kind of tagged on to the main story, that you might be going back to your base for the main story, but if you take a loop around to get there, you can complete a couple of side missions as well.
Yeah.
So I like
how you finding the world, like the way it's online and people have their structures built and stuff like that.
It's great. I was running along for a mission. I was like, I have to deliver this to here. I was like, oh shit, there's a big cliff face here. I have to find another way around, but I didn't, because some randos had left a couple of ladders going up the mountain.
Yeah.
And I think I'm playing the game at a certain time now where it's been out for whatever, say a year on PC, that people have set up all this shit over time.
Yeah, it's all been founded.
It's like, it's all there for me. It's great. It's not like if you played it on day one, there'd be nothing. Yeah. So yeah, no, it is really cool. It's kind of like it's a weird feeling. It's like I'm playing this game and it's a single player game, but people are helping me out play it.
Yeah.
It's a weird one. Like it adds so many layers to Bring Me the Horizon song Ludens when you actually listen to the lyrics and then because it was written for this game and
for Sam's point of view.
Yeah, it's like we form a connection, but we can't even shake hands. It's like
post-COVID, man. Everyone you talk to is a fucking hologram because they're afraid to come to the front door.
Yeah, basically.
But I will say the story that unfolds with certain characters towards the end, from the middle to end, is it's amazing.
That's what I don't know. I'm spoiler free on it, so I am really
which is
intrigued.
The best way. Yeah.
I'm really intrigued by it.
Like certain characters that don't necessarily have a lot going on right now, it opens up like considerably, and it's really well. It's a really like. Not emotion. Well, yeah, there is emotion in it as well, but it's a really like dramatic story in that kind of sense. It's not just like a normal game kind of story, which is great.
Yeah, I want to get through it. I want to keep plugging away at it. Like I think there was a lot of stuff about this is boring, this is that.
Fucking Amazon Simulator and all that.
Yeah, I don't think it's a boring game. I think if you're willing to embrace it for what it is, there's a great story to be told there. It's different, and it asks you to embrace it despite it being different to what you're used to playing. But yeah, I just think it's funny that like no other game publisher or developer could have made this game. And
no one else would give it the time.
Yeah, and it would have got so much backlash if it wasn't the Kojima game, and it got backlash anyway because it did, but. Like I just think it wouldn't have been respected in the same way if it was anyone but Kojima, and I think that's where Kojima's at in his career. He's done so much that he has so much respect from so many people that it's just like, all right, yeah, you do what you want to do.
Like another thing I was thinking as well, it's like you probably have so many different kind of variations on this game, this genre, years ago, but they were all like small indie developers that wouldn't really have that recognition. So it's nice seeing like a AAA developer being able to not just do your generic kind of genre, like shoot 'em ups or you know.
And then the other game I started at long last. It got a 60 FPS I just call it. It got its director's cut last week. I started Ghost of Tsushima at long last.
Nice.
See, I picked that up and I was like, I'm gonna wait till it comes out on PS5 or till it gets.
Because it was the end of the PS4 cycle.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna pick it up and wait for it. And then the 60 FPS update came out, and I just never played it. So the Director's Cut came out last week, so I finally started playing that. I'm only about an hour into it. I didn't really have a lot of time to play that. But yeah, let's see where that goes. It is the epitome of the PlayStation exclusive game. It's just anything PlayStation exclusive games do. Yeah, this is the epitome of it. So I'll come back to that.
The combat?
Yeah, it's fine. Like it's not difficult.
Have you unlocked more stances yet?
No, I'm very early. Okay. I only have, is it 1 or 2 at the beginning? Yeah, I'm very, very early. I've literally only completed the first mission, the first opening part. So no.
Okay.
I'll have to.
So you're still like on the run kind of thing.
Yeah, I'll have to come back to that at some point.
That's one of those games where the combat develops as you go into it as well, which is great because it's not just your same hack and slash at the start.
Yeah. So no, I'll touch back on Ghost of Tsushima when I get further into it, which is probably about a month away since Destiny got some new stuff.
And we can force Stephen to play it and then do a review on it.
Exactly. The other thing this week, trying to think before Destiny, WWE SummerSlam was on last Saturday night. I watched that. It was a bit of a mixed bag.
Who's the new heavyweight?
It's been Roman Reigns for a year.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's had it, but like, he's by far the biggest draw in it. So just leave it. That's why they're leaving title on him. It was a mixed bag. It was up and down. People got very worked up about it, but I was kind of like, you know what? I enjoyed it, most of it. Some of it I don't really care for, but the parts I was watching for, I enjoyed it.
I saw there was controversy about the women's title. Yeah.
So basically,
that's all I saw. Literally Twitter.
Yeah, no, that's where all the drama was. So basically, Bianca Belair, she's kind of up and coming. She won the title at WrestleMania, and she was supposed to defend it at SummerSlam against Sasha Banks, who she won it off. Sasha Banks couldn't make it. She wasn't, whatever. The rumor is COVID, obviously the rumor. So I think they had a plan set in motion, but because she couldn't make it, they had to change the full plan. Okay. So they had Becky Lynch come back after giving birth last year, and Becky basically won the title off Bianca in 25 seconds.
Jesus.
It was literally, she came in, hit her once, gave her a rock bottom, and won the match, and won the title. And everyone was kind of like, oh, you've ruined Bianca. Like, Bianca deserved better than this.
Like, building her up for so long.
Yeah. And I get it.
Whereas that could have happened like down the line, but it was like, we have to do it now because it's changed.
I think what people were saying was, why didn't you just have a match? Just have a 10-minute match where they go to war with each other. But that's going to happen down the line somewhere where they'll build it up and that. So, but look, it is what it is. People take wrestling way too seriously, way too personally. The other thing was actually AEW was on last Friday night. I've started watching that, and CM Punk came back to that on Friday, and the whole world blew up because it was just the best thing ever. Apparently, is
that like another company compared to like SmackDown and Raw?
It's 2021's version of WCW from the 90s. It's the competitor. Okay. It's FIFA against Pro Evo. AEW is Pro Evo. Yeah, it's enjoyable. But the CM Punk thing was like, everyone went fucking nuts. It was great. Apart from that, Destiny. We'll probably get
which will segue perfectly into
probably
Destiny.
Just start talking about Destiny then. The main topic. So I think we just jump in the deep end of the Witch Queen stuff. We can talk about this season. I think we'll do it. Like, I think this season kind of took a backseat to the Witch Queen anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to take the front line when you see what's coming. Like,
yeah. So on Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. our time, an hour before the new season of Destiny launched, they gave us a showcase for the Witch Queen. If you're not a Destiny player, or you are a Destiny player but you've been living under fucking in Crota's End with Eris for the last year and a half, the Witch Queen is the next big expansion coming to Destiny 2. It's coming in on the 22nd of February, so 22/2/22. Yeah, so it's coming in February next year, which is quite a while away, but they gave us a deep dive on it on Tuesday. the Witch Queen revolves around Savathun. She is the sister of Oryx, who is a raid boss that we killed back in 2015. It's not doesn't look like your generic revenge plot, which is great. She's coming back to basically seize power of fucking everything. But the Witch Queen, yeah, she is the Witch Queen. The whole expansion is going to revolve around Savathun, and they gave us a deep dive into what is going to be involved in that.
Which looks like a hell of a lot.
Yeah, it looks like a hell of a lot. So
yeah,
they had well, I think it was about 25 minutes long in the end.
Yeah, altogether, I'd say. Yeah.
Altogether. But yeah, they showed off that what we're getting basically for the next year, and a bit of Destiny, considering, because it's a bit late, so we got shown off what we're getting. So yeah, I'm still kind of speechless. Like, I know there was leaks before, there was leaks in the days before and months beforehand coming up to it, and
which we looked at.
A lot of the leaks ended up being real leaks.
Yeah,
but even as someone
for a change, which is nice. Yeah. Like, normally leaks you take with a bag of salt, like.
Yeah, but even as somebody who knew a lot of what was going to be announced, I was still blown away by it.
Yeah, seeing it, like that introduction trailer where we're obviously on whatever planet and we're looking through the forest, and then
it's her throne world.
Is it? Okay. See, I thought her throne world was gonna be like Takenified, you know,
no,
like in the Ascendant Plains.
It's a mixture. So before we actually talk about all that, I actually want to talk about something totally different for a little second. So before they did the reveal of the Witch Queen stuff, Luke Smith and Jason Jones, the founder of Bungie, Jason Jones, game director is Luke Smith, but they had a chat before the showcase started. If you watched that for 15 minutes, they spoke about like what gaming is to them, and Jason Jones. I actually liked where it's going. I thought it was quite interesting.
That was cool.
But Luke Smith looks incredible, and I just wanted to say that Luke Smith looks like, fair play to him. He looks incredible. Like, he's lost so much weight. He looks so healthy, and fair play to fucking Luke Smith.
And he's carrying Bungie on his shoulders.
and he's been carrying Bungie on his shoulders since fucking Kingsfall came out. But anyway, we can move on from that back into the Witch Queen. So yeah, that they showed us the open trailer, and it starts with, I think it was the Guardians were walking through a kind of forested kind of. I can't remember what they called it exactly. Kind of a
looks real jungly or something. Yeah,
it's a swamp area, and that's part. So Savathun has gone into hiding. She has her throne world, so the Hive have the throne world, and it's this. There's the swamp area, the forested area, and then there's her palace, if you want to call it that, and that looks like that blows the Leviathan completely out of the water. It looked massive.
Like, I hope it's as deep as the Leviathan in terms of like,
I hope it's as deep as the fucking Dreadnought
style. Yeah, like it's. I hope that's the new public area and not like the Leviathan where it's locked.
Oh no, this is definitely going to be
this is the new zone.
It's a destination.
Yeah.
This is our new destination. It's not old Chicago like everybody thought.
No, and that's I think it was just everyone based off the color scheme the green drab kind of look.
I would have loved to be a fly on the wall in Bungie HQ, and they're like, they think they're going to old Chicago. I'll get wrecked.
We got him.
But yeah, it looks like a massive patrol space. It looks absolutely humongous, and that's not just the raid space. The raid space is obviously going to be part of that, but it looks absolutely gigantic.
One thing I do and I don't like that they showed us so little in terms of that structure. Like, we just got to see like the facade, and then we got brief glimpses of like running across bridges and going through caverns and stuff like that.
It was very Hive architecture. It was very Hive,
which is amazing. Like what's the dungeon called?
Pit Heresy.
The one on the moon, Pit Heresy.
It reminded me of, it's the Striker that it reminded me of. What's her name?
The Hash Ladoon. Yeah.
It reminded me of that, except in white.
And a grander kind of.
Yeah, it was like it was like the Hashladoon strike was taken.
Yeah. And then they just turned the lights on.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it looks gorgeous, and it's gonna be full of secret. Now, if you look into the description on the Witch Queen on the deluxe edition, it is we are going there, and Savathûn has built this throne world in her image, so that's in that, and we're gonna. So what we're going there to uncover secrets about Savathûn. Now this is where we have to be a little bit careful. Yeah. On what we discuss, but
on the secrets that we already know.
Yeah, we have to go there, and Savathûn we're going there to learn more about Savathûn, how she. So the story of Witch Queen revolves around the light. In Destiny we use the light for power since 2014. The light's what gives us our space magic powers, and we are using the darkness now as well. But this is all about the light, and Savathûn has stolen. I think the line from Ikora, who is another character in Destiny, was she's stolen our greatest resource, which I found that quite interesting that they're calling it a resource now. I'll come back to that. But Savathûn has stolen the light. She's given that power of light to her Hive army, and now there's Hive Guardians. So we're human and Awoken Guardians and Exo Guardians. We're guardians of the last city of Earth. And now we have Hive Guardians with Hive powers. And they didn't show off too many of them. They showed off a few glimpses. There was the Solar...
It's like the three archetypes, isn't it?
It's the three archetypes, yeah. It was Void, Arc, and Solar. And then they're going to have our abilities. So that's going to be very interesting to see where that goes. I think that's been hinted at for quite a while, in that Aramis went to get a shard of the darkness to give her Fallen Army stasis.
Yeah.
The Vex were trying to steal the darkness, I think it was, in last season. So it's been hinted at for a while, and now it's flipped. It's like, she's not going for the darkness. She has the darkness. She is the darkness. Here's the light. She's taken the light. So how do we fight against basically ourselves?
Which, like, another thing, like, it was curious seeing as well. They assumed kind of our shapes. In terms of like a Titan, a Hunter, and a Warlock.
Yeah, I did notice that. The helmets, they look like helmets of each of our characters.
And you can actually see their eyes like through the helmet. And another thing I was wondering, like, would that make them more, the word is on the tip of my tongue, I can't think of it, like, would that make them more like a person rather than just an animal? Like, would this make them more kind of the way Savathûn can talk to us? Do you think they'll be able to talk? Do you know that kind of way? I can't even think of the word. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. More humanoid, they're less. I do get what you mean.
Less ravaging, more thinking and actually.
They're not just feral creatures. They are thinkers. They're conscious beings. They would be that anyway because.
Westworld season 2.
Yeah, but like they would be that anyway. But that's not how we would view them.
Because, exactly. Yeah.
So like.
It seems to have the light, which to us is the culmination of all, like, that gives us the good. Like, we get our powers from it. There's nothing, like, it's a good source of energy. Whereas
I think it's really interesting where they've gone with it in the last 12 months or so since Beyond Light launched. So we've always seen the light as this all-powerful kind of flows through you ability power. That
Force style.
It's almost like a god. Like the Traveler is almost like a god that gives you this power. But when Beyond Light launched last year, well, when the bus went by there, it went so dark. But when Beyond Light launched last year, and we used to see it was light versus dark, and light was our good power, and dark was the bad power. It was good versus evil. But when Beyond Light launched, to come back to what I'm saying, is that they changed how we looked at the darkness, and that the darkness wasn't this evil that we have to fight back. It's just a tool, and that tool can be harnessed for our use to achieve our goals. And now they're doing the same with the light, and that the light isn't just this all-powerful source anymore. It's a tool. That's why I think Ikora called it our most valuable resource. It's a resource for us that makes us more powerful, but it's not a That's the right way.
If a hive touches the light, it's not going to turn good. Like,
exactly. It's a tool as opposed to, like, I don't know what way to put it, but it's not.
No, I know what the direction you mean. Yeah.
And I think it's very interesting.
Same with like us using the darkness doesn't automatically make us the bad guys.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that that's the way they're going with it now, because it completely changes how we've always viewed it. We, like, when Destiny launched, we view this is our power. This is what makes us great. This is what makes us good. This is what makes us like the heroes. But it's not. It's just a tool, and we've been using that tool for the last 6 or 7 years. And now our enemies are going to use that same tool against us. So it's going to change our relationship with light and the abilities, but it's also going to change how the relationship we have with the Traveler. Like, the Traveler was this big good. It was the god basically in our sky, but that's not what it is anymore. It's what gives us something that makes us more powerful, but it's not the only thing that can give us that. We can get that.
And that's the kicker, isn't it? Like, there could be numerous amounts of Travelers throughout the solar system that we haven't discovered yet. There could be other sources of powers like light, dark, and whatever other way you want to look at it. But it's like we were in a box and we finally opened the box and we can see, holy shit, there's loads outside. Like, we can actually go there and experience this. And yeah, it's exactly like I said. We thought the Traveler was the be all and end all. It was the only source of abilities, and now we get a taste of, oh, we can get this exact same from another source and do the exact same with it.
Yeah, it's gonna make it very interesting to see where they go with it next for me, because it doesn't, like, I know they call it the light versus dark saga, or the light and dark saga, but it's not really that for us anymore. It's about using both. I don't know where it's gonna go. I really don't. Like, are we gonna
want more leaks?
We
can't wait 3 fucking years.
I don't want more leaks. I'd rather not have leaks, but if there is leaks, I'm gonna read them so that I don't have someone in chat going, what am I gonna say next? Because you even saw it last night. We were watching the fucking thing last night, and I was like, I've told you I'm 20 seconds behind. Stop telling me what's coming. And people can't help themselves. They just, if I know.
But
I think that's actually what was the funniest part of it. The first thing Chaotic said to me was, how did you not say any of this for 6 months? Or whatever. It's 4, like, you've known since April or May. How did you not mention any of this? It's amazing. I was like, because I'm not a dickhead who ruins stuff on other people.
But I think that's just like, that's the weight that Destiny carries now. It's like, we want to know, and even though we do know to a certain extent what's coming up, we knew what this reveal. We didn't know exactly how the trailer was going to go, but we knew what the end product they were going to show us. And even still seeing that, like, it was still mind blowing. Like, seeing that actual in physical form, you know.
It didn't take away any of my hype.
No, none whatsoever. And I think that just, they should be commended on that, like, because to be able to deliver that, and that was the one thing for me. It was like, you've had this character teased since what, the Taken King?
Well, yeah, since
like, she's been in the lore and story since then.
So for 6 years we've been hearing about her.
So to translate 6 years of lore and perceptions into a physical form and the voice as well, like, there was a lot harping on that.
Her voice is whoever they cast as I don't know the name of the voice actor. Like, it's perfect. It's a just to
convey that kind of presence, you know. It's not just another enemy. It's not just another Cabal fucking general. This is the Thanos, the fucking Kang, the Celestial, like, you know, that kind of way.
If you were to describe what the Witch Queen is going to be to a non-Destiny player, it's Infinity War. It's not Endgame. Lightfall is Endgame, but it's Infinity War, and it's like this villain that we know a lot. We think we know a lot about her. Is now coming, and she's going to be placed front and center as the villain we're fighting, or whatever you want to put it, the villain we're up against. And after all this time, you had Iron Man, Captain America, the Thor movies, the Ant-Man movies. You had the in-between. You've got Avengers Assemble. You've got Age of Ultron. You've got these big things in there the way we have, but this is Infinity War now, and this is our Infinity War, and
this is the start of the end.
It's the beginning of the end, and that end's going to take us next 3 years to get of this particular saga. But yeah, there's a lot. Like, I know there's always the memes of, Destiny, if the Witch Queen doesn't get Destiny, this is make or break for Destiny.
20 million players, shut that up. Like
it's
when
not
I
make
saw
or
that
break.
number.
Yeah, that's insane. 20 million players in 2 years.
2 years.
Like,
just in the last 2 years. Yeah.
And that's on top of the 25 million or something that were Destiny 1 players. Correct. So that's 50, 60 million people have played Destiny. That's insane numbers. Like, it's not quite GTA numbers, because GTA is gargantuan, but it's massive numbers.
For the marketing level that Destiny has, which is non-existent outside of the community, basically, it's to have that pull, like, since gone free to play it's amazing. And that, to me, seeing those figures, it really shut up that whole, like, Destiny's dead game. Like, it's not. Last year, it was the 4th most played game on Xbox. Like,
did you see after, I think it was on Wednesday, Destiny 2, the Witch Queen, filled up 5 slots out of the top 6 most viewed or pre-ordered items on Steam. Yeah. It was 5 out of 6. The 6th one was the new Alien game that's coming out, I think. So it's like,
which I do want to have a look at, actually.
Yeah, Ralph gave that a very good review. Actually.
Fire Teams or something, isn't it?
Fire Teams, yeah. Skill Up gave it a very positive review. But yeah, like, this is the culmination of a lot of what they've been doing for the last 7 years. And 8 years, whatever, for development. But there's a lot not that it's make or break, but there is a lot riding on it.
Yeah, it's a very big story that they have to deliver well.
Yeah, and I think they have started off on the 2 right feet.
We're in the prologue now.
Yeah, we're in the prologue now, yeah. But no, I think that they have set it up. They've built hype. Like, my friends list is 4 or 5 pages long at the moment.
Yeah.
Just from hype.
Which is big for a season. Like, season launches, we do get the odd coming back. Like, I'm one of them now who comes back for the big season launches. But it's a lot more than what we'd normally get. Like, Season of the Hunt wouldn't have this much of a pull. No. So just that whole Sabatune story being tied in with it, it just shows you the amount of pull that it has.
Because that's what, like, Sabatune has become part of this season's story as well. And we'll talk about that in a little bit when we do the Season of the Lost stuff. But this is a hell of a lot to talk about on Witch Queen. I think the big thing for us to move away from the trailer, and so that there's a lot of other stuff there with weapon crafting and that, and we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. But the big thing for me, and I know for you, and I know for the guys we play with, in December we get a dungeon.
Yes.
In February, start of March, we get a raid. In the summer, we get another dungeon. Yeah. In the autumn, we get another raid, a reprised one from D1, and we can take bets on which one we think that's going to be. And then next winter, we get another dungeon. So from December on, for every 3 months, we get endgame pinnacle content. Yeah. The dungeon is 3-man, raid 6-man, but they are the pinnacle content of Destiny's PvE. They are what I play the game for.
They're what we play for.
I can leave everything else out. I could literally leave the rest of it out and do dungeons and raids all day, every day. And we're like
going from 6 to 9 months down to 3 months. It's crazy.
It's usually 6 months between each one.
Yeah.
It was, we got a raid and then a dungeon after 6 months, and then a raid after 6 months, then a dungeon after 6 months, or whatever. But now we got a raid in, when did we got one in October, November last year with
Deepstone.
Then 6 months later we got a VOG. Now they've reprised Prophecy, which is great with the weapons, which I've got all of them, by the way.
Already? Nice.
2 of them I got lucky. And then, so in 4 months time in December, we get a dungeon, which we'll talk about the contents of that in just a sec.
Yeah.
But and I think it actually links into this season's our seasonal activity. That it's great, but I think they saved some resources to do what they're doing. But to be giving us that high-end pinnacle content every 3 months, it means you're going to run it for 5 or 6 weeks, and then 5 or 6 weeks later, the next one comes out.
Yeah,
that's
it's just that sweet spot to give people a 3 or 4 week break, and then it's back into it again.
That's insane. As someone who that's what I play Destiny for, I'm now looking at that Witch Queen Deluxe Edition going, that's a year of gaming sorted for me. If I could spend €100 on that thing and not play any other game for the whole of 2022.
Yeah.
Now I will because I like playing games, but as a
Value
Destiny,
for money, it's there.
As a Destiny player who predominantly plays PvE, like this is what we've wanted since 2014. This is it.
Like
this
we
is
all
everything
say,
we
we'll pay more for the seasons if we can get more content, and if we can get our dungeons and our missions like 0 hour and stuff like that. So seeing that actually come to fruition, it's great. Like 3 months isn't long when you think about it. No, and if we're getting a season and our big PvE endgame activity, that's massive.
It's humongous.
Yeah. So it's doing what I wanted it to do. It's taking the best things from each season and expanding on it.
It's doing most of what you wanted. If you go back 2 weeks ago where we talked about a season of the Splicer, this is what we asked for. And they've given it to us.
But like looking at where we are now compared to season of the Forges, is that what it was called?
Yeah.
That was that was one of the first season. It's completely different to what you're getting. And I was worried about not getting a roadmap, but what we saw in like 6 months is, for want of a better word, worrying for length of gameplay and what we're getting. But seeing what we're getting in December, like that's like a whole DLC in itself.
And I think, like, I know we're paying for that. We're paying 25 quid for that, but I've no problem paying for content.
Yeah,
I've no problem paying for 25 quid for content like that. And just while we're on it, that's a dungeon. It's based in the old loot cave of Destiny 1. It's a bit of a meme, and GG. I think it's pretty great that Bungie are actually just doubling down on that meme. But they're bringing back the Gjallarhorn.
Yeah.
After 3 years.
3 years.
4 years in the bin, Gjallarhorn's back. Do you know what's funny, right? DMC never played Destiny until Season of the Splicer. He knows what Gjallarhorn is.
Yeah.
Because there was one day back in 2015, just before Taken King came out, where Zur sold Gjallarhorn. And he says it was all over Reddit. He's just like, I didn't know I didn't play Destiny, but I knew what Gjallarhorn was, because apparently it was sold once, and everyone was going nuts to go buy it. So they're bringing that back. It's their reward for completing this dungeon.
The dungeon.
So I can't.
Like, it's one of those things I do and I don't like when they bring old weapons back. Like seeing 1,000 Yards there coming back. Like I love that because like that and LDR was like fantastic in D1. But if they're bringing back the big weapons, like it's nice seeing that, because there is that nostalgia factor with it. Like the way this season we have Scatlock and I don't know the other names, but they're all
There's a few
D1 or D2 year 1 weapons, which don't really have any meaning to me. So I'm kind of like, they're practically new weapons, old weapons.
I like the old. It's Annual Skate, I think is the pronounce.
That was the hand cannon, wasn't it?
It's the hand cannon. I loved that back in year 1, so I'm waiting to get a good one before taking that for a spin. But I think, and that's what I always said, I don't mind them bringing back old gear and old weapons from D1 or from early D2, as long as we get new weapons as well that I really like using, and we're getting that as well. So as long as we're getting the both ends of that stick, I'm happy out.
It was more so like for a while we only got the either or, and I think that's just what put a bad taste in people's mouth, and people can't look past that, which is unfortunate, because like you see how well this season is being received and how well the future is for Destiny, and you still see the same outliers on Twitter. Like,
the thing is, though, I think a lot of what you see on Twitter is from people who haven't played the game in a while. Like, I've seen conversations over the last week or so, and it's just like, the opinion you have of Destiny is an opinion of a Destiny from 2 years ago. Yeah. That's not the way the game is now. I'm not saying it's the best fucking game ever. It's my favorite game. I'm not saying that it's perfect or it does nothing wrong, but the opinion that these people have of the game, it's from 2 years ago, and it was a valid opinion then, but that's not the way the game is anymore.
And it's like they're going in with the mindset of like, prove me wrong, make me like this game, and it's like it's the wrong way to approach it, you know, that kind of way. Like it's grown. If you've played it every couple of months throughout the seasons over the last 2 years, you can see drastically how even the seasonal activity has changed. Like last season, like to me that was the peak. Like what we got for the repetition. Like it was more interactive than what we got in Season of the Forge, you know.
And this is this season's even better.
Yeah,
now, we'll get into that in a bit, but they've improved on stuff again, and that's improving it from feedback from the community, and they're improving it every month. And this Witch Queen's going to be the first big expansion in about 18 months. No, about 15 months. Like, I can't wait to see what they do with Witch Queen.
And
like,
you know, we got
the nitty gritty of it. The nitty gritty of it. We know the overall stuff of what we're getting, but the actual fine details, the story, the campaign. Now they spoke about the campaign.
We got the C word. Yeah, it's fucking.
Yeah,
huge.
we're getting a massive campaign. Like, I hope they haven't oversold it here, because the campaign was compared to the quote was, if you like God of War, if you like I think it was Horizon,
Halo.
if you like Halo, this campaign is for you. Now that's a big statement. Yeah. That's a statement. Yeah. So I hope they deliver on that. Now, what I love that they've done with the campaign, they've made a hard mode named Legend mode. Now, it might take me, if you play on normal and I play on Legend with whatever, it might take me 4 or 5 hours longer to get through the campaign than it's going to take you.
Yeah.
But for me, that's fantastic, because the problem I always have with Destiny campaigns is you kind of piss through them.
You burn through it, yeah.
You burn through it to get to the next cutscene, to get to the next story beat. Whereas if it's actually engaging me and making me think about my loadout, making me fight in every fucking engagement, great, delighted. Because that was some of my favorite stuff when I started playing Destiny 1, was that there was the normal mission and the hard mission. And the normal mission was kind of on your level. Now, light levels work different back then, but it'd be like doing something now that's 20 light levels above you. When you have basic bitch gear, basic bitch guns. Yeah. And that made it a challenge. So, like, I remember there's a mission, I think it's in where the Navoda strike is now, the first room of that. You had to defend something. And I remember playing that with, it was Al and his brother I played that with when Destiny first came out. And we fucking struggled. Because I think that was level 6 or level 7, and we were level 4 or 5. Yeah. Like, we were fucking... Like, we were all Titans. We all switched to fucking Bubble Titan. Just to pop bubbles.
See if he can actually hold
just to stay
off.
alive. Yeah. And that sticks with me, because I don't really remember playing through a lot of the campaigns. I remember the big story stuff, what happened, and I remember what it looked like, and I remember the aesthetic and the level design. But I don't remember have any memories of it, because you just kind of piss through it to get to the next part. So having that challenging story is something I've been begging for. I'm delighted to get that back. I really am. I can't wait to do the story in hard mode. I really can't.
Especially now that it's an established game. We know
the kid next
with a new game, you kind of want to put it on easy and then just kind of burn through it to get to the cutscenes, like you said. But on this, it's like we know what we're getting is good. So take your time going through it. You want to kind of get in as much as possible and enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, no, I can't wait. I really sorry the kid next door is looking in.
Oh, you're good.
I can't wait to burn to have to struggle through this story.
Have to think about it. Yeah.
Think because I'll remember it more. Because that's how I enjoy games. Like, if I buy a game, and I don't mean this as a brag or anything like that. I like hard games. I like when games are challenging to me, because I feel like I'm getting more for my money's worth. That's the way I look at it. If I play God of War on the normal difficulty and beat it in 20 hours, or if I play it on the harder difficulty and it takes me 30 hours, that's 10 hours extra for my money's worth.
Extra for what you got.
That's the way I look at it, and that might be the wrong way, but that's how I feel.
That's how you enjoy games. Yeah. That's how you
me being able to struggle through every single mission. I hope they're fucking hard. I hope me and whoever I do the hard story with, I hope we're arguing with each other about how fucking hard it is. I can't wait.
Yeah. And that was another thing I did like in the showcase, that they focused on campaign. And now this could be like a double edge on whatever way they're going with it, but they didn't speak much on strikes, PvP, or Gambit.
No, they didn't.
And
I think PvP will get its own showcase, and Gambit will get its own showcase. But
but I did like that it didn't set the bar. It didn't set the expectations where we know it's a pandemic and we know they've been working from home and delays and yada yada, but they could, for argument's sake, have 3 new maps for Gambit in the pipeline. They could potentially push out 5 by that deadline. So by not giving us anything, it gives them that extra bit of room without setting the bar. Like, they might only be able to produce 2, you know? But I did like the way that wasn't approached, because it would have created a bit of a divide, I think, in terms of like PvE versus PvE. It's
been nothing but positivity on Twitter.
Yeah,
it's been great. It's been a breath of fresh. My Twitter's been a breath of fresh air this week.
So like,
I've
only
been the
hearing
toxic one on Twitter this week. It's like, where have you been for the last fucking 4 years? All you've done is complain. Now you love it.
Impressions, man, they go a long way.
Oh man, for a dead game, Destiny farms the fucking impressions. Like, for a game that nobody plays anymore, no one cares about, it gets a lot of impressions, and you can fucking see it on Twitter this week.
We should all just change our name to 20+ million.
But yeah, so like, you mentioned. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying, like, from what we saw in the showcase, which was the core game, like campaign and story and crafting, and
I want to get back on that. Yeah, that's where I was going.
We didn't even get to see the external side of it, like the strikes, the patrols, the fucking dungeons, the lost sectors, and we saw none of that. So that, like, you have such a good reaction to just the core, and then obviously throughout the year it's gonna get expanded on, which is gonna be all positive, like from here on, hopefully. But I think if you look at it, like, the one thing that the seasons have been missing, they all have, like, they have a seasonal activity, and then they have like a seasonal mission where that changes each week. If we're losing, I'm assuming we lose that kind of presage mission or expunge mission, and we're getting dungeons instead of them, or a reprised raid instead of them. But that's something that you're going to repeat over and over again, because you're chasing gear and you want to get better at it. And if each of the seasons have those which they've been missing, like, it's all positive from me. The campaign stuff is great, the story stuff is great, and the lore stuff is great. But it's getting those end game activities is what brings me to Destiny. Make them replayable as well.
I can't wait, man. Yeah. That's what's been missing from the seasons. That's when we get to a lull period of Destiny, it's because we haven't had an end game thing for a while. So having that every single season,
and that's the thing. It's
take my money.
It really does show how fundamental a raid or a dungeon is to some players, in terms of that's the reason they play every week. This is the reason why they're leveling. They're doing the same activities, which it's been 3 years in Destiny 2. We're kind of sick of doing the same routine of that, but you accept it when you're like fighting to level up for something. And I think that takes away from a lot of the like stuff you don't want to repeat. You don't want to have to repeat.
I don't want to play Gambit. I don't want to have to go do strikes every week to level up. I want to do.
But when you're building towards that end game, it's great. And like,
it's a means to an end. Then you can.
Yeah, and like, from their point of view, it's kind of like, well, we can't give you like the same hours wise of story or missions or presage kind of level things in terms of Gambit, Crucible, and Strikes. I don't know if I said that properly, but like, they want you to go off for a couple of hours and then come back and then experience it. And that was something that I'm accepting as time goes on. I didn't want to, because I just want to play it as a campaign for the fucking year, but like, realistically, like, it's not that kind of game. But once people start accepting that, it's a much more enjoyable fucking experience.
It is, if you take it for what it is. Like, I very rarely complain about any game I play, and it's just because I'm kind of like, it's a game, I'm enjoying it. If I'm not enjoying it, I just won't play it. I'll play something else.
It's the same with films. It's like, same with movies. Criticize it all the way home, but
like, I didn't like Suicide Squad. I didn't enjoy Suicide Squad. I haven't been talking about it because it's whatever.
You didn't make a Twitter profile with a blank profile picture.
I didn't send James Gunn a single death threat. I'm a shit movie fan, me. Not a single death threat, man. It's not good enough.
Fuck's sake.
Disgraceful. But anyway.
But yeah.
So you mentioned a couple of things that are also coming along, and crafting, weapon crafting being the big one. And weapon crafting is something that we we've had in different ways, and back in D1 we had the re-roll thing. You could re-roll it from Motes of Light. But now it looks like we're getting the ability to take a weapon. So you mentioned the LDR, or the LDR a few minutes ago. We're not getting 1,000 yards there. So reading between the lines, if the more I use that 1,000 yards there, I'm going to get 1,000 yards there with, it's a basic gun.
Base model, yeah.
And after I get 10 kills on it, I'm going to unlock a perk that I can craft for that gun.
Yeah.
After I get 50 kills, I'm going to unlock another one. After 100 kills or 1,000 kills. So if I really love using this gun, I can unlock all of the perks available for that gun. And I'm going to want, say, a snapshot Firefly 1,000 yards there, just to pick 2 random perks out of thin air. I can bring it to the weapon crafting thingy and craft 1,000 yards there with money. Outlaw and Firefly on it and whatever mags I want. And there's my perfect roll. And I'm not chasing this 1,000 yards there. Now, I could drop the 1,000 yards there at any point before that and have it already. But I'm not going to be chasing this gun that I want forever and ever and ever. And RNG
and then the season's over, and then it's kind of like new weapons are out. So now, what's the point in chasing the old ones?
If the way I've spoken about that there, that I use this gun for, I love this gun, I use this gun, I unlock better perks, and then I get to use the perks that I want on it. I bring it to this thingy-majiggery, I put in whatever the, what you call it, whatever the currency is to make the gun, and then I walk away and shoot aliens in the face. If that's the way it works,
that's a good
thank you, Bungie. I love you, Bungie. If they make it fucking as convoluted as they made Transmog last season, please reconsider it, Bungie.
Yeah.
Because Transmog now is great. It took a season or two to get there. It took a season to get there. Now, with Transmog at the beginning, you got kills to earn a currency. Once I had enough of that currency, I could go buy a bounty with that currency. I then had to complete that bounty, which gave me another currency to then turn into the material that I use for Transmog. Yeah. Now, you go to there with a currency we have abundance of, Glimmer. You buy a bounty, you complete the bounty, and you have your Transmog thing. So it took out about 4 steps. Please don't do the
Make it direct.
Make it direct. Yeah.
It's one of those things that's like they think, well, not just them, just in general, like gaming and stuff like that. They think by elongating a process, it makes it more interesting. But
it really doesn't.
It doesn't. It just makes it more convoluted rather than just, I know what I have to do to get what I want. Let me do that and then get what I want. Yeah. Don't let me have
extra steps
go here, there, here, there. It's like going back and forth. What was it? To
it was Black Armory, Season of the Forge.
Yeah, we had to constantly
you went and bought your weapon
schematic.
So you got the currency, you bought the bounty from Ada, you completed the forge, you went back to Ada and got your gun. Yeah. Where what that should have been was go to the forge, kill some shit, get your gun. Yeah. Simple.
So they are learning, which is fantastic.
They are learning, and I think Transmog is in a great spot now. I know it took there. I'm not praising them because they fucked up to begin with, but it's the way it should have been in the beginning now, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And I hope the weapon crafting's the same. I hope it's just, oh, you have 1,000 yards there. Shoot shit in the face for half an hour. Oh, look, you've unlocked snapshot. Great, put it in, and it cost me, I don't know, 20 legendary shards and 50 glimmer. Grand, done.
Like, part of me is thinking that like they rehauled Armor 2.0. Do you think that this is going to open up into Weapons 2.0 in terms of,
it's basically,
are we going to have like Call of Duty, for want of a better franchise?
I think that's
in terms of like, you have your stock, you have your mag, you have your fucking barrel.
And the more you use the weapon, the more you unlock.
Yeah. Your
and
basic bitch is iron sights, then you have red dots. That kind of
I hope that's the way to do it.
Because going down that route, it really personalizes your arsenal. And I think it's not too soon for that, but jumping from what we have now straight into that, I think is a bit too soon. But if we get a season or two of the crafting being what we know as handed in Umbrella engrams, but we can specialize the perks, and then moving on to the likes of your weapon is broken up, put it together.
Yeah, I think the way they said it, I think so. That new weapon, the glaive, is it?
Yeah,
that is crafted, and then you're going to be able to craft all the new raid armor, and all the new raid weapons, and all of the Throne World weapons. So they're all going to be able to be crafted in Season 1. So it'll start introducing it. And then they said over time they're going to bring more stuff into it. So it won't be just all at once. Which is good.
So it's like they're integrating the Spoils of Conquest kind of part of it
a little bit,
into the crafter.
Yeah. Which is all fantastic. It's all great stuff.
Which, like...
I just hope
this is deadly.
I think it's great that they're doing weapon crafting. I'm so happy they're doing it. I just hope it's not a convoluted process that I have to see PC Gamer and Polygon and Kotaku and Skill Up and fucking I don't know who else have tweets and articles out saying why did it's such a simple thing. Why did you do something make it complicated?
Because it takes away from
it takes away from the great announcement.
It really does.
It's like here's this really cool thing. Woo! It becomes here's this really cool thing. Wait.
Like Fortnite like announcing their imposters mode last week, and then the developers for Among Us coming out and being like, we had no clue about this. Like, that's just
all
one of those.
All it would have taken was a phone call.
Yeah, this could have been the partnership of the year in terms of fucking collaboration. Yeah. And it's kind of like one of those things that it put a sour taste in people's mouth because it's like 100%. Typical AAA company just fucking over the little guy, you know. Yeah. Whereas that's an amazing game mode.
It was kind of ironic considering the whole Epic
Apple
thing. Like, hi Paul, my name's Kettle.
Yeah.
I think the other thing. Oh yeah, sorry.
No, I was just saying that the future is bright, and this is only in 6 months' time. Like it's
exactly
from what we got in Beyond Light.
It'll fly by.
Yeah, 100%. Like compared to what we got in Beyond Light and what it looks like we're getting in Witch Queen. Yeah. Can you imagine what we're gonna get in Lightfall? Like, if that's the jump from, not generation, but like. Drop to
what's great though? What's great about Witch Queen, and I think it's kind of like, we got crossplay this week. Like crossplay is nothing to be like nothing to turn your nose up at. But the big difference between Shadowkeep and Beyond Light and now Witch Queen, they're not changing any systems.
It's like they were trying to introduce and trying to reshape.
Like wasn't in Shadowkeep was when they brought in cross save and when they brought in the Steam stuff. And they brought in I can't remember what else they brought in. And in Beyond Light they were bringing in something else. Like all the development time for Witch Queen is on Witch Queen.
Yeah.
So how it's
Beyond Light was cross save, I think.
Was it Beyond Light was cross save, was it? Shadowkeep had something else that meant
Shadowkeep was the port from Battle.net over
and there was something else in that. I can't remember what it was. But there was
a lot of back-end stuff.
There was back-end stuff, systems, quality of life stuff that had to be done, and all that quality of life stuff was great. Witch Queen isn't getting any of that quality of life stuff, which is fucking phenomenal. I think the one thing it is getting, though, is overhauled light subclasses, which we haven't spoke about yet.
Yeah, Void being the first one.
Void being the first one in Witch Queen, and then following on from that, we're going to get Solar and Arc in subsequent seasons. I'm really excited to see what they do with this. Because
was it just me? Like, you watched it recently. You watched it today, didn't you?
I watched it again this morning, yeah.
When they were showcasing that part, did I see it right where they threw, like, a Void grenade and then threw fucking, like, Solar fucking knives or something? Was there not something that was interchangeable?
Knife, no. I think what I saw was it was a hunter kind of did a shadow dive. As a Void hunter did the shadow dive animation. And went invisible. Okay. And then threw out a suppressor grenade.
See, whatever way, I obviously got it mixed up. I thought it was like a mix and match, and I was like,
it might have been a Solar Hive did something.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, but no, what it looked like
they can do that now.
It was It was a Void Hunter did a shadow dive animation, and like as soon as they hit the ground, it went out like smoke, and they went invisible, and then they dropped the suppressor grenade.
Okay.
So I can't wait for that sort of stuff, because if you look at, like, whatever, I know Stasis has been the hot topic for the last year, and how powerful Stasis is. And it wasn't even how powerful it was that you could freeze somebody and they couldn't fight back.
Yeah.
But if you look at the way Stasis abilities work, some of the Stasis abilities are so powerful and so cool, and they're interchangeable. So you can change around what you want to use. And having those on the light subclasses is... I'm gone really blurry. Having those on the light subclasses is going to be fucking class. Like, they're not going to overhaul the way the supers work. They're going to be mostly the same. But they're going to have new little cool abilities or powerful abilities that's going to change the way we play. And that's really cool. I can't wait.
Like, with the technology that they had, the technology they had when these initially released, and they haven't been touched since. Compared to now,
if you look at a vanilla Destiny super or something compared to a Destiny Beyond Light super, it's hilarious how far they've come. We're so much more powerful now. It's crazy.
But even just seeing like the aspects you have for stasis, like it's very kind of deep diving into the RPG element. Like, if you want that specific build, you get your extra 10 disc or whatever, and you have to sacrifice 10 intellect, but you can do this 20% stamina boost on a dodge, all that kind of shit. It's really tailored for, if you want to build that direction, you can. You don't have to, but if you want it, it's there for you. And you have the fun parts like the stasis turrets, the shatter dive, all that kind of shit. So if you can even scratch that with the light subclasses, it's going to be massive.
And
it'll reinvent the subclass.
It will. And what I think is really cool is that if they want to release a new subclass, they have to release a whole new tree for it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look at stasis, it's like, oh, we're going to add in a new stasis aspect next season. And it's going to give you a new stasis ability. And when they've overhauled all of the light subclasses, it's going to be, oh, we have this really cool idea. Like, what if a Titan can pick up a big hammer and just fucking launch it across the arena? That's a really cool idea. Let's make an aspect, put it in. And they can do that. They don't need to completely revamp all of the subclass to give them a new ability. They can just go, here's a new aspect. Go do this new cool thing. And that's a game. Now, it's going to take a while to get that, but that's a game changer.
I like how they're starting with
Void, it's like
though.
having a TM or something in Pokemon. It's like, I want to give my Blastoise Bubble Beam. Use TM.
And use the HM, then you can never delete it. But I like that they're starting with Void, because I think
as a Titan, I'm happy.
But that's the thing with all the Titan Hunter and Warlock. It is a fundamental one, like with Tether and then with Nova Bomb and Bubble. Yeah. Compared to like if it was Arc. As a Hunter, I'd feel a bit like the Arc Super is great, but in terms of like DPS and stuff like that, it's nowhere near the way like a Thunder Crash would be, or a fucking Geomag, what are they called?
Chaos Reach.
Chaos Reach. Yeah. So
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see what they do.
Yeah.
With them, it's going to be really cool. Like the last time we got updates to the light subclasses was when
Taken King.
No, we got the new. They changed them up when Destiny 2 came.
Oh yeah.
And we got the extra tree. We got the extra super. I think was it Forsaken? Forsaken. We got an extra ability.
Yeah, that was when Blade Barrage and that came.
Blade Barrage and Thunder Crash and Chaos
Burning Maul.
Yeah. We got all those. So it's been a long time since we've got an update, and this is a complete overhaul of the system into a far better system. Yeah, because it's interchangeable. So I'm really excited to see what they do with that.
Like even visually, when you look at the stasis tree, and I very rarely look at it because I play a lot on console and I don't have Beyond Light on console, so I just have the light subclasses. But the odd time when I do go into it on PC, it is a bit kind of like I'm taken aback because I'm not used to looking at it. Whereas if that's going to be the basis of moving on, like the interchangeable, like I have one slot and I have 10 things that I can interchange into that slot. It's a bit overwhelming, but yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah, sorry, I went to take a drink and it splashed up into my eye.
The money shot.
The money shot. Yeah.
But yeah, like it's really like in my personal kind of take, it's really reinvigorated my desire to be in this universe again. Like as a franchise, I was getting fatigued,
I think a lot of people were. Yeah.
And like when you think about it, like 7 years in total and 3 years on 3 or 4 years on Destiny 2, doing those same kind of core things week in, week out, you're gonna get like fed up with it. You're gonna want new experiences.
It's like working a job. after a few years in the job, you want to change. You want to move the
Yeah, you need to change. It's natural.
Yeah, it's natural.
But it's like you want that change, but at the same time, it's like the game isn't going to change for you. It's going to give better quality of life things. It's going to have introducing new ways of playing it, but fundamentally, it's not going to change because your desire to play a game a certain way is changing. So get that experience elsewhere, dip in and out, and honestly, when you come back, like if my excitement is anything to go by, like I've done a complete 360 within the last month. Like this showcase has really
it was
made me want to do that kind of thing again. Yeah,
I think it was when they did the 30. It's so Bungie's been around 30 years this year. Congrats to the Bungie, but it was during that 30-year kind of little highlight reel thing that they did it. I was kind of like just been part of like. The community can be what it is sometimes, but just been part of
the project.
It's like you're part of something. Yeah, and it's like it is a computer game, but I was at Guardian Con, you were at Guardian Con, and we've made all these friends through it, and we have all these memories. And look, I'm sure I could have done a whole lot more with my life if I wasn't playing Destiny for the last 7 years and 5,000 hours. I could have learned several musical instruments, but this is what I enjoy doing. Exactly. But it's like having these memories and being part of. It's like I don't know. It's like you're part.
It makes it bigger than just playing a game.
Yeah, it's like you're part of something bigger, and being part of that something bigger. It's just like it's nice. You got a few goosebumps, no tears, no onions been cut.
Yeah,
a few goosebumps.
But it was nice seeing like the LAN parties and stuff like that, and just seeing like the events and the queues and stuff. Yeah,
I loved it. It was like
it was really cool.
One screen here, guy duct taped to the ceiling, another screen over here. And seeing that, it was it's gaming. Gaming gets a lot of bad press and it gets looked down upon by a lot of people and. More so in older generations. Yeah. But like gaming does.
The gaming word is tabooed.
Yeah, it is a little bit. It's a bit. Yeah. But gaming does so much good for so many people, and it creates more relationships than people realize. And being able to make those because of one game that I hadn't even really heard of until Al in the gym pulled me aside when they goes, "Kev, have you seen this Destiny game coming out?" I was like, oh, what is it now? He completely oversold it. I've told this story before. He told me, oh, we're going to start on Earth, and then we're going to go to the moon, and then over the next 10 years, we're going to go to Mars and Venus and Mercury, and we're going to go to all the planets, then we're going to go to a different solar system, and you're going to be able to explore the whole planet. And I was kind of like, oh, that sounds amazing. No, it wasn't that. But
I was going to say, that sounds very, what's his name? Murray. Fucking other space game.
Yeah. I was going to say Bill Murray. It's not Bill Murray. Sean Murray.
Sean Murray.
I mean, No Man's Sky would have been a far better game if Bill Murray had made it. If Bill Murray had made No Man's Sky, it would have been great. But that's an alternate universe I'd like to be part of. But like, it's just this game that I didn't really know a whole lot about until I played the alpha, just 7 years ago now. But like, I've got them all there. I got the 3 editions there. I've got the other one over there. I've played built a PC to play it. I've got my Witch Queen Collector's Edition pre-ordered. Like, it's nice being part of all that, to be passionate about something. And
like,
you've got shit behind you as well. Like,
and that's the thing I'm gonna harp on. It's like, I love taking something from our virtual game and having it like in hand, like in the real world. Like, I love like my collectibles and shit like
a Celestial Nighthawk helmet.
Fucking expensive, man.
It's not that bad.
It's actually not for a 1-to-1 scale, yeah. But just in terms of like having those in a physical kind of form, it's nice seeing it because, like you said, it's a video game. It's not like what FIFA does. Like if you bring a football fucking into your garden, it's not the same kind of thing as what we see in this game.
No matter what you do, you're not going to be Lionel Messi. Like,
no. You could do the step over, but you're not going to be 5 foot tall. Well, you might be 5 foot tall. But yeah, it's just it's having that kind of memorabilia. Like I love that kind of that side of it, and like everyone can turn around and be like, you've spent hundreds, so you've wasted like X amount on it. But it's like
shelf up there.
Yeah, it's nice. It's what makes you happy.
But that's only the tangible stuff, like the intangible stuff, like those relationships, those memories. Like they showed that Gallahorn highlight reel. It's kind of like, fuck, we've all had that moment now. Yours was a bit of a funnier one, but like we've all had
my
that.
fucking postmaster.
It's like, Dill, when did you get Gallahorn? I don't know. I haven't played Destiny in 6 months.
A couple of weeks ago.
It's in your postmaster, huh? But like we all have that moment, and it's just It's a game that I'm glad I started playing it, but I'm even more glad that I stuck with it. And we've all stuck with, like, if you still play Destiny after 7 years, you've stuck with that game through some shit.
Yeah, where do you come and go for the seasons and shit like that? That's besides the point.
Witch Queen looks like the point where Bungie are starting to go, here's your reward. Enjoy it, little lights.
Let the minority still make you feel bad for fucking giving it a chance or putting your time into it. What you get from something is completely different to what someone else is getting from something.
You could be
like the way you can spend fucking hours on end in Destiny, and right now I wouldn't see. Well, not right now, but a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't see how you do that. But you're getting your enjoyment from that. I'm
happy just chilling, running through strikes, shooting aliens in the face.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, that's like...
I can't explain why I like it so much, but it's just kind of like, I want to play a game. Fire up Destiny, I'll find something to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same with like couple of months, well, about a year ago, I was seal hunting. Like fucking, there's no tomorrow. I'd happily sit. What I do want is fucking the Splicer seal. I won't be able to get it, but anyway.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, like everyone has different things to achieve in a game. Not even so achieve, just different ways to play it, different ways to get your kicks out of it, you know, the kind of way.
I'm trying to think, before we move on to anything else, is there anything else they showed during the showcase that we haven't really spoke about? They showed that we're getting the dungeon in December, and Gallahorn's coming with that. The Torn inspired armor looks sick, by the way.
Which looks phenomenal. Yeah.
Witch Queen's out in February, and all that comes with that. Savathun is the big bad in that one. We're getting a raid.
Guardians.
The raid's going to be on Savathun's Throne World. Who we fight in that raid, we don't know yet. You would think Savathun, but who knows?
Raids don't fill our story needs.
I don't think Savathun will be the boss in that raid. I think so. If you read the lore, if you pay attention to the lore, there's a dark future where there's a big battle on the moon, and it's the light against the dark, and all the powers. I think while that's the Elsie Bray stuff, and I have a fucking hair somewhere. It's the Elsie Bray stuff and the Anna Bray stuff and all their lore, and it's from a different timeline where Elsie Bray, she gets killed and she wakes up in our timeline again. I think that's where this is all going, and that's why I don't think we might kill Savathun. You can't kill the hive gods, whatever you want to call them. If you don't kill them in their throne world, they don't really die. Their throne world acts like a Horcrux to them, the same way Harry Potter shit. But I think that dark future that we have read about in the lore, I think that's where this all culminates. And this isn't anything from the leaks. Don't worry.
This is completely new. Yep.
In that, it's Savathun and it's Eris and it's against Anna Bray has turned, and it's the Vex and the Hive and the Taken, and we have the Fallen fighting alongside us. And I think that's where this all ends. I think that's where Lightfall might end. And so that's where I think this is all going, basically. But
that's a good theory.
I think it's a preview. I think, here's the lore and it's cool, but I actually do think this is where it's going.
It's going.
But the difference being, in this future, we're there.
Yeah.
In all the rest of them, in Elsie's story, the Stranger story, we're not part of it because we didn't exist. But we're here this time, and we're the butterfly. We're the difference. Or we might think we're the difference, but we actually turn out to be not. We actually turn out that we're Elsie Bray. We just didn't know it all along.
So what you're saying is Doctor Strange is fucking up our timeline as well.
Basically, and Doc Ock and Green Goblin are coming to get us in Destiny, the crossover of the century. I'm trying to think, was there anything else in the showcase? I'm sure there was more.
None on my list that we missed out on anyway.
Yeah.
We mentioned Crafton, the Glaive, the Dark Guardians, which aren't really dark. They're like Guardians, but
Yeah, they're like Guardians.
Savatoon's
Dark Guardians come later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, what do you think? Which raid do you think is going to be reprised next year?
I think for size-wise and impact, King's Fall, because it really ties into the Hive. Like it's the way the Vex season brought back Vault of Glass. It wasn't necessarily tied in, like story-wise, but same kind of. Same kind of feel,
I think Vault of Glass will tie in story-wise.
You were thinking about.
It just hasn't yet.
Yeah.
And I have a theory. I'll give you my theory on why I think that as well. But
it's the pools, isn't it? The fucking.
It's a few things.
Yeah.
So I was running.
Savatoon is actually putting us through a course type thing.
Yeah. So I ran Last Wish last night to get a Shuro Chi checkpoint to do weapon kills. To get Deadeye done, because I don't use scout rifles. I had to go get 1,000 scout rifle kills. But when you launch Last Wish is on the Dreaming City. It's the raid that came with Forsaken on the Dreaming City, and we found out that the Dreaming City was in a loop, a time loop where it was Korea was controlling the Dreaming City, and there's a 3-week loop. When you go into Last Wish, in the opening part of that, there's an oracle sound. The sound of an oracle goes off. It's the exact same sound as you hear in the oracles phase.
Now, was this new?
It came in the season before Vault of Glass came out. In the few weeks before Vault of Glass came out, this started happening. And I think the lore behind this might be that it was Savatoon's way of practicing with them, experimenting with the oracles, of making them work to do her Vault of Glass simulation. And we're going to find out at some point this season that Vogue, or maybe not till Witch Queen, that Vogue was a simulation that she was testing us almost, and making us get more powerful. I think that's part of the story, anyway, behind it.
I would love.
Happy to be wrong, but it's kind of cool.
But before we talk about it, like with what they've done with Osiris and the whole year's worth of content,
all switcheroo,
it tied in. So I could see them going in that direction, because it makes for such a vast story. It's so good. Like
there's lots of threads tied together,
and it doesn't need to be as direct, but it also doesn't need to be just fucking in the lore either. Like
they have finally found a good balance.
Like with Osiris, if you've been paying attention, not even just in the lore, but just in general, like behaviors and stuff like that, you could piece a theory together, and that theory was pieced together, and that theory was correct. Which that started in Season of the Hunt, was it?
Yeah, Season of the Hunt. Season of the Hunt is where Savatoon took over Osiris.
Yeah.
So
which
the Osiris we knew before that. Yeah, if there's nothing else, I'm trying to think, is there anything else in the showcase that we haven't spoke about? I don't really think there is. No. The collector's edition sold out in 10 hours, which is kind of nuts. I don't really think there's a whole lot else that we haven't spoke about from the showcase. I think we got most of it anyway.
Good. Yeah.
The only thing was what raid you think King's Fall is coming back, and I'd kind of be inclined to agree with you. I think King's Fall makes the most sense because of the scale of it. It kind of links in with what's going on next year, and that where it's Oryx, we're going back in, and they could do something in the story for it. Get Touch of Malice back, and then we can go kill Savatoon with her brother. It's kind of funny. It's a bit of a meme, but I think King's Fall makes the most sense because of how big it is, and because of it links in thematically with what's going on. I think Crota's End would probably be my second guess again, because thematically it fits.
Yeah.
But also because of the size, it might be easier to reprise Crota than King's Fall because it's not as big. There has been a lot of talk about, bring Crota's End back as a dungeon, and it would work. it would absolutely work. It's a free pass that they could get. Here's a dungeon. Just scale
Give
back.
us another 3 months.
Yeah, you have all this loot to go get. It's a dungeon. We've changed it up a little bit. Bring it back. Wrath of the Machine, I think, makes more sense coming later on because Siva's not really in the picture at the moment.
No,
and
if that ties in later on, yeah.
I think they could do something really cool around Wrath of the Machine and a new dark power where we get Siva power from completing it.
Yeah.
Or before it, and we have to go in, and they won't do it from completing it because that's not the way Bungie do things. But that'd be really cool. But I think they might do a season of the Siva at some point. Season of the Siva. But I think that will probably happen in Lightfall at some point. Because it makes more sense to me anyway if it goes that far ahead. And I think they'll save it for then because we might get a second or a third darkness power. And it could be the Siva power that we can control Siva and harness Siva to do what we fucking wanted to do. So I think out of King's Fall and Crota, I would prefer King's Fall just because it's longer. It's more content to play through. I love the encounters. I'm not mad about any of the guns from King's Fall.
No, they were
they weren't great. Yeah. Now they were average in like everything else was so fucking powerful, so it was difficult, I guess. But I'd like to get. I would like King's Fall over Crota, but we'll see what happens. It's a year away, so.
The encounters are more dynamic, like doing Golgoroth and War Priest compared to like the bridge sequence and stuff.
You like know that like if they do Golgoroth, they're gonna make sure we do that fucking legitimate.
We're not standing in a fucking well down the bottom at all.
We are doing that. We are doing that shit legitimate, and you know they're gonna make us.
Or bubble. Well didn't even exist then.
Well didn't even. Yeah, you put the bubble in the back, and you had to walk back into the bubble.
Yeah.
Fucking Destiny things. But yeah, I think that's probably everything now that we've said our piece on that. I thought it was a great showcase. Before we move on, it was the best showcase they've done. I actually think it was the best showcase I've watched this year, apart from maybe the Xbox one. Like, it was a fun. Like, I know I love Destiny, but it just hit all the right notes. I know it was only for one game, but they hit everything. It was fucking home run after home run. There wasn't one part where you kind of went, it was
no lull.
Boom, home run, home run. It was great.
It was everything we wanted to hear, and because it was the first thing we've heard, like this was announced months ago.
Yeah.
And that was my one thing with it. I was like, fucking 23rd or 22nd of August, like that's ages away. I want to know, like
now.
But seeing it actually firsthand, it was like I was just really excited through the whole. I was just like, what's next?
And then what's next? I might watch it again, just for the sake.
I need to watch it again. Yeah.
That's what I needed to do as well, because I wasn't really like I was just kind of absorbing it the first time, whereas the day I watched it, I went.
That's why
I was like, I missed that.
Yeah. Like other showcases, it's like I want to be in a chat talking about it and when things are happening. But for that, like you were in chat and I was like, I'm not jumping in there because I'm gonna talk. I want to be fully focused on this shit.
Foxy joined chat and started talking, and I was like, deafened. I was like, I want to enjoy this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a fantastic showcase. And I know Bungie are excellent at building hype for stuff, but this one feels different because they didn't just show a cinematic that hit the right spot. They said the right things as well. They didn't just show the right things. They said the right things. So I can't wait.
We also do have to think. They said they weren't releasing Trials half-baked.
They did.
And they did.
Now, before we move on to the season, we can chat Trials real quickly. They went over Trials changes, and 90% of those changes make that game mode way more accessible for everybody.
I'll play a lot
more. I'll play it. Like me and Kraut were saying, we'll duo queue it. No problem. Yeah. Like, because your time is more rewarded, and you don't feel like you're fucking playing in the fucking grand finals of the MLGs every single fucking round.
Yeah.
Which is great. Now, you still get rewarded for going in as a stack and going flawless, and that's great. But your time being more rewarded with loot specific to that game mode is great.
Yeah.
So, great. Everything great. Everything great on Trials. Go read up on it.
Just introducing a solo playlist on top of matchmaking. Like, they could have just done matchmaking and not introduced solo.
Yeah.
Which,
No, it's all great. I can't wait for it.
the player base is going to skyrocket as well. So
You'd
it
hope
will
so. Yeah.
negate that whole chance of coming against cheaters, especially with the Battle Eye partnership that's coming out.
Yeah,
hopefully,
I think that's the big thing. It is the population should shoot up.
Because you've seen it remember we played when fucking, was it the hand cannon was on rotation that week on 3 wins and the adept version. Everyone, the playlist was so saturated.
Yeah.
We had a straight card. Like we had no resets, nothing. It was just it's a much better experience. Like you said, people are just in there sweating every week.
And that's the other thing. The game mode used to reward you for just finishing games. You didn't have to win. Whereas now it rewards teams for winning individual rounds. So what's going to the play? It's going to be you go up 4-0, let the other team win 3 rounds, then beat them 5-3.
Yeah, be like, here it's not total fucking wipeout.
Here's a free round, have heavy round, we'll give it to you. But that's the thing, like all the changes they make will increase the population tenfold in that playlist, which means that you're going to play against less sweaty teams more often. You're going to, if there is cheaters, you're most likely not going to come up against them. And the other big thing is recovs are gone. You can't pay someone to recover your account anymore. It's a hard stance, whether you agree with that stance or not. That's the stance they're taking. They've drawn the line in the sand. So it means that I can't pay you to go play on my Trials account for a few hours. It means if I want to play, I have to play by myself. So that's an extra person in there. And for every person that's an extra person in there, it's better. There's more people. The connections are going to be better. You're not going to be sweating every single game. You're not going to be playing cheaters. You're not going to be playing against 3.0, 4.0 players every single fucking game because nobody plays it anymore. So it's all great. It's all great stuff. And yeah, fair play. Hopefully it works.
Trials Report just got that much more accurate as well.
Hopefully, yeah, right? Hopefully it works out because I love playing Trials. It's just not worth it sometimes.
Yeah. It's a good direction for the game mode.
Yeah. So this season, we'll move on to this season and wrap.
Season of the Lost.
Go on this for too long. So, Season of the Lost is the season before Witch Queen launches. It's going to be a long season until February, but it started on Tuesday just after the showcase was shown. Season of the Lost is revolving around the Dreaming City, which we got with Forsaken. And Queen Mara Sov, who is the Queen of the Awoken, the Queen of the Dreaming City, has returned from wherever the fuck she was. That's a long story.
She just disappeared into a fucking hole for a couple of months.
It's a long story. So she's back.
Was she real? Was she not real?
She's back, and she is sending us to find her Techians. They're her Techian witches. They're basically her board of managers. Her board of directors for the Dreaming City. They have abilities, and we have to go find them week by week over the next few weeks. With the season, we've gotten cross-play, which is fucking huge. Like, it's just seeing people's names that I remember from D1 on my friends list while I'm on PC is really cool. And I'm looking forward to people logging in and filling that out. So I'll be like, oh, I remember him. Oh, delete him. So that's really cool. Like, you were on PlayStation today, and I could hover over your thing, click on your name, and go, Dill's doing such and such. So crossplay.
But even so, if you're seeing names jumping in and you're saying, "Oh, they're playing Crucible," I'll just join them. I'll just invite them. Like, it's especially for Iron Banner and stuff like that. Yeah. It will be
just
really
anybody,
inclusive.
just anybody. So I'm looking forward to seeing old names like Gravemaker was on my friends list again. I'm like, Gravemaker's in the Dreaming City doing something at the moment. I remember him. I did lots of raids with him in D1. Or I'm not looking forward to like my mate Anthony just showing up on my friends list one day or logging in and seeing, I don't know, Al playing it or something. Yeah. Just anybody. It'd be really, really cool. So we get crossplays finally here, and it's here to stay, and that's fantastic. And it's only going to be improved when consoles get Discord. Aside from that, we got a new seasonal activity, which is on the Dreaming City. It is Astral basically alignment. What's it called? Astral
alignment. Yeah.
Basically, they've taken bits of the Last Wish raid, bits of the Dreaming City public events, and just mashed them all into one seasonal activity. Very
interactive.
It's great. There's not a lot of running. You start in the blind well, you kill a few ads, and then it sucks you in. And you have to do. It's basically the vault encounter without the complicated stuff. You kill a marked enemy, you pick up the ball it drops, and you bring it back to the middle where it tells you to put it in, and you do it. And once you've done 8 or 9 of them, it's encounter complete. There's 2 other ones. There's one where the Ether Harvest. It's basically the Ether Harvest public event from the Dreaming City and Tangled Shore. You have to stop the Ether going into the ball. It's broken at the moment. And then there's also it's like
batteries.
Carry the batteries. It's like it's like doing Queen's Walk.
Church.
It's like doing Riven Queen's Walk, where you pick up the battery and you have a countdown timer and then you drop it. Me and Kraut found out a genius way to do it. Just bring along a shoulder charging Titan.
I did notice there was someone behind me today constantly jump spamming. Yeah.
So I was like, right, Kraut, 3, 2, 1, jump, and I just lobbed him the whole way up. So that works. Now,
it's cool in terms of just to jump in on that battery encounter. The ads can really fuck you up on that. Not just death-wise, but just in terms of they're all fucking phalanxes and booping captains, and it's it can be hard. It can be one of those you just need to take a second and reset.
And then once you've done that, it brings you back to the blind well, and you kill a boss, and the boss has basic mechanics around it.
Really blind well mechanics.
It's simple stuff. It's blind well stuff. It's like it's basically the Morgoth encounter, but less complicated. You shoot it with the relic to take the shield down.
And not a lot of people know that. People think you have to throw it and then do another one and then do another one. It's like
you shoot it down till about halfway, and then you use the super.
Yeah.
But it's really good, and it's rewarding. You're getting 2 or 3 legendaries every time. You can spend the seasonal currency. By the way, can I just commend them? They finally made seasonal currency simple to use. You don't have to get something complicated. You get the seasonal currency from playing the game. You use that seasonal currency to open the chest or to do the Umbrella engrams. There's not multiple currencies. It's one currency to do the thing, and it's so great just having it so simplified. Now it's capped out, but that means you just spend it. But it's so nice having one simplified currency that you just go and do it. You don't have to convert it into something else. You don't have to earn a key. It's just one currency. It's great. Keep this going. But Jeff, what do you think of the seasonal activity?
I enjoyed it. Like I said, last season's activity, can't even remember what it was called. Not Expunge, fucking
Vex something.
Yeah, the Splicer season. Yeah, that was my favorite seasonal activity in terms of interaction. I want to be interacting. I don't want to be standing there in a well or a circle and just shooting shit. I want to do that and have tasks to do. So this season, like Kev was explaining, it really kind of amped that up in terms of you have 3 things in terms of the final boss encounter as well. 3 stages, and in all those stages, you can stand there and do nothing, or you can be the one that takes hold and interacts. Now, I noticed it is a bit buggy in terms of...
It is a little bit.
A few times when it's been the battery phase, nothing spawns in, and it's just ads and ads and
what
ads.
What happens is, if somebody leaves the activity and somebody comes in to replace them, you can't progress it any further when that happens. It's a bug. Okay. It's a known bug. So it is a bit buggy.
The ads do hit as well. It's gambit level hitting you, which is good.
I enjoy it as well. I think it's a cool activity.
It's timed well.
It's funny. It's timed well. You're not there for too long. But I do think it's funny that they've just taken bits of the blind well, bits of the last wish, bits of the public event, and just mashed them all together.
I'm putting it together. But that's the thing. It's in our raids and stuff like that. There's certain encounters that you're like, I'd love to see that somewhere else in the game. They've put so much work into actually creating that it's a bit of a waste if it's just gone. And Last Wish came out 2 years ago, and this is the first kind of 3 years ago. Jesus Christ, this is the first rendition from one of their encounters that we're seeing. So I enjoy it.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, it has the replayability. It's gonna be somewhere
and the
where
gear's
I test
good.
out
The gear's
the
nice
seasonal
as well.
weapons.
The gear's decent.
Yes,
you get the weapons. The stasis hand cannon's really cool to use. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
I haven't really used a whole lot else, but that's cool.
That's what I was gonna say. The seasonal weapons and that there's a lot.
They look amazing.
They look fantastic. Yeah,
they're really nailing the look of things lately. Last season's weapons look really cool as well.
Yeah,
and this season's weapons look cool. I think the other thing we got this week with the new season was a new mission, basically like Expunge from last season, but I can't remember the name of it, but you go into the Shattered Realm, the Taken Realm, and you have to realign the beacons. You have to get Gondor to join the fight for Rohan, basically. But you're realigning the beacons, and then when you've done that, they guide you to the techie and then your rescuer. But like that's a whole area they've developed for this. It's all taken apart. It's all dark, and there's lots of secrets that are building up the hype for finding secrets in the Witch Queen. And I think like it's a bit bugged at the moment as well. This week just has bugs, but what can you do?
Yeah.
But
it's expected.
It's great. Like, just having that mission. And it's not an overly complicated thing. It's go in, defend, tower defense for a minute, realign it, go find the next one, tower defense for a minute, go beat the boss.
Which I think that's a good thing to kind of reiterate as well, that it's not, you have to win this as a fire team. Like,
no, you don't
Expunge, for example, that was a bit of a turn off for me. Same with the Hawkman mission. That really felt like you had to be fire teamed up. You couldn't. You could if you were high end, good at fucking solo PvE activities, attempt it. But this really, kind of like it backs up the, we want more people to play this. We want to make it more inclusive for solo players, which I love, because like if I'm playing on console on the couch, it's like, it's one of those things that's like, oh, it's weekly reset. I'll do this while I'm here, you know.
And now the beauty of that is you can be playing it on the couch and chilling, and you can
and
join
still
me.
Do it.
And just to touch back on crossplay, we might be doing a raid share at some point for the person in the next room, because they're gonna.
Really?
They said that they will play it, and they will. Happily play a bit of crossplay from there to me and here, and we can play through some stuff together. So I'm looking forward to that.
We'll have all the raids on the cards then.
All that. I'd love to take her through with all the glass, just because it's what it is and how nostalgic it is. Just so she can finally go, this is what you've been shouting about for 7 years. I get it now.
Would it be nice having that guide, because of how convoluted the kind of new light process is for new people?
Crazy. And it's not just another way in someone trying to explain something to you and they're reading out, well, which quest did you track? I can just go, I'll be there in a sec.
It's fucking that one.
That one. Just track it and do it. But yeah, I think I'm looking like we are getting a roadmap for the season down the line, aren't we?
That's
in a couple
one
of weeks.
thing I was worried.
I'm not
we
worried.
Always got it on launch.
Yeah, like, I'm not worried. I think there's probably another reason behind it that they don't want to give something away just yet.
More than one activity that isn't confirmed yet.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you see, like, there's always something that's redacted or something like that. There's probably 2 or 3 things that are redacted on this.
I think that's what it is, and they just don't want to give away stuff.
Yeah. Because going into the story beat for this season, like, it kicks off straight away. It's huge.
It's like that episode of Invader Zim where Gurr jumps out with a turkey and he's like, "I was the turkey all along," and that's what Savathun did. You're like, "I was Osiris all along. Bet you didn't know." And it's like, we knew.
Saint didn't, and that was cool.
Yeah. I actually saw someone ask a question today about that on Twitter, or had a bit of a giggle, because they deleted the tweet about 10 minutes later. Obviously, someone texted them and said, "It's only been the last year that Osiris has been Savathun. Before that, it was actually him. It's okay." So it begs the question: is Segura still alive somewhere?
Yeah, is she being kept? And that could
probably
be used
not.
in.
She's probably not. I think
we don't see her die on screen, though, don't we?
No, we didn't see her die on screen, but I think that's why he was easily captured. Was because he didn't have any of that. He was probably cowering in a corner, afraid to die, because his ghost was gone and Sifu Wrath was there. So she just went, "Haha, bitch, get in that cage." It's Mad Eye Moody. Like Osiris is Mad Eye Moody.
Osiris is Mad Eye, yeah. But
gonna see
at least now we know how long he's Mad Eye.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
that's true.
It is one of those things. I'm so excited to see that story unfold and to see where he is, what happened, and what the end goal is. Are we getting him back?
For a seasonal story, it's loads.
Yeah.
It's deep. For a seasonal content, it's a deep story.
Like, for someone who's captured at the moment, she has a lot of pull on us. And that, like,
a hell of a lot.
That's one thing that's kind of like, I can't get my head around, that, like, she's there, like, right in front of us.
I'm half expecting Mara Sov to turn out to be Savathun at the end of all this. I don't think so. I don't actually think so.
See, I think Mara's just that. on the line. She doesn't believe in light and dark.
It's the light and dark. The line between light and dark is very thin, whatever.
Yeah, she's just not taking sides, but she's just there to protect the Dreaming City. Like whatever benefits her, she's gonna do.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how the story unfolds this season.
Yeah. One thing I'm not a fan of, actually. Sorry, just to get the negative out of the way.
There's been too much positive. We have to have a bit of negative.
Yeah. What's it? The new fucking Mitrax thing where you have the rows of unlockables.
Oh,
what's it called? I can never think of the name of it.
The 3x9.
The artifact
grid.
fucking.
The 3x9 grid. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like the way I can't unlock shit.
I think there's a reason for that, though.
I have all my currency. Like I don't want to. I want to maximize
that's the way it's been for a few seasons. Though it's the only thing.
Yeah, but I did feel like you could unlock more at the start. But like the way we saw the quest, we saw.
Oh, you couldn't actually. No, you couldn't actually unlock. You could unlock them previously because you used the seasonal currency. But we don't use the seasonal currency to unlock them now. We unlock them through the weekly challenges. And we're supposed to get 4 levels per week, but this week we've only gotten 3 levels because of the bug.
Yeah.
So it's a bit. But
yeah. It's one of those things. I'm not gonna let it ruin my fucking experience of it. Which.
Just make sure you save up the seasonal currency for next.
What's the cap at actually?
1,500.
15. Okay.
Which isn't a lot, but you can turn in a number of engrams or open some chests, and then you just get it. You get tons of it. It's very plentiful.
Like I was getting a 150 per gambit match earlier on, so it is.
It is plentiful.
It is expensive for engrams and shit.
It is. Yeah, it is. But that'll get cheaper as the season goes on because you'll probably unlock it from the thing.
Unlock the things.
Just make sure you have maximum going into weekly reset for when you complete the weekly challenge, that you can just get them straight away.
Yes, actually, to unlock it. Yeah. But so far this season, it's that whole I want to play it for hours on end because I'm hyped for it, but it's the seasonal model. It's making us wait for the week. But right now, I'm fine with that because, like you said, the Prophecy has new weapons. The seasonal armor is decent. The seasonal weapons are decent.
And you can grind them as well, actually, the weapons in Prophecy.
They drop every run. Nice.
Well, no,
that was one thing.
They're not guaranteed to drop, but they're in your loot pool. The first time it's a knockout system, so you will get something you don't have. So you're guaranteed. You're guaranteed to get them all.
You can work towards that.
Yeah, but when you do repeat runs of it, they're in your loot pool, so you can get them.
My knowledge going into this was, the weapons were gonna be treated like the Dido armor. That you'd only drop this from the boss at the end.
No, it's not.
Which, seeing that it drops from every encounter, that was really nice to see.
The armor still drops at the end, but the 3 other drops are all the weapon drops. Which is great.
Which is fantastic because...
You can still get Coda armor. Once you've got the weapons, Coda armor comes back into your loot pool once you get the weapons.
But it's basically throwing the weapons at you first.
You still have it's still like a 1 in 4 chance or whatever to get it, so which is great.
Yeah. And they all look viable as well.
They shade are really nice.
The hand cannon is 140 as well, isn't it?
The hand cannon is 140. It's got some cool perks on it. The sniper is a good sniper. The Darkest Before pulse rifle was a beast back in the day, so I assume it is. So it's...
The auto's a 600 as well.
Yeah, the auto's actually... sounds cool to shoot. So they're all, it's all good stuff. It's all good stuff we're grinding for until we get the dungeon in December.
Whereas, if we have that kind of content, I don't mind the weekly stories.
Exactly, because
it really fills that gap. It gives you something to do. Yeah, but so far, my verdict on it is positive. You know, I'm enjoying it. I like the story direction that they're going in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the TWAB hasn't come out yet. I was kind of paying attention in case it did.
I think the TWABs over the next few weeks are going to be big in terms of what content we're getting because we have no roadmap.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I think it's all positive for me for Destiny. It's always positive for me for Destiny, but it's gonna peak at the moment. And I think the only downside of it is we had this amazing showcase on Tuesday, and then went into a season that is still going to be great. I'm still enjoying it, but it's a lot smaller, and it's not what you showed me. It's kind of like the old when Destiny 2 had the alpha and they showed off the gameplay trailer and the story trailer, and it was like, oh my god, I want to play this, but I have to play this for the next few months.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's basically, you don't get Witch Queen. We have Witch Queen at home. It's ice cream at home.
In the freezer.
It's ice cream at home. You're not getting the nice fucking 99 whip with a flake in it and hundreds of thousands sprinkles on top. You're getting the fucking...
It's a fucking choc ice.
You're getting a choc ice, or a little brand choc ice.
Yeah.
So,
it's not a twister, it's called a tornado.
It's not a loop-the-loop, it's a pool-to-pool. I'd love a twister. The shop's still open.
You want hunky dories? Nah, here's some okie dokies. That's what they're called. Want some hula hoops? Nah, just some hoops.
Some hoops. For fuck's sake. What are skips called? But yeah, that's...
Melts. They're actually called melts. They're called melts.
At least it's accurate for what they do, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's all positive from me. I didn't take any news this week because it was all Destiny news. There was a showcase last night.
It's a good saturated Destiny week, isn't it?
There was Open Night Live was last night. We got Halo release date. Horizon Forbidden West got a release date, so looking forward to that.
I watched a trailer for Midnight Suns as well.
Don't know what that is.
The Marvel game.
Oh yeah.
Completely CGI trailer, so it could be anything. There's no gameplay footage at all.
Yeah,
so
true. But yeah, no, that was cool. I kind of watched it out the corner of my eye because I was playing Destiny. So yeah, I can't wait for Witch Queen. If anybody doesn't have people to play Destiny with,
we like Destiny again.
Send us a message. We're happy to play with anybody, no matter what platform you're on, apart from Nintendo Switch
or Stadia.
Oh no, I played against Stadia people today. It was great fun. Or last night.
Did you?
Yeah. I was like, poor Stadia players have gone from having this really like refined sandbox where they play against the same 6 people to playing everybody, and still
they're like a close knit community.
Yeah, like they all know each other. They go to each other's birthdays, but it was like imagine playing on Stadia against a PC player, but they only need one. But like against a PC person, and you have input lag. And the PC player, I don't know how. I don't know how they do it, but look, whatever you're into. So yeah, that's my thoughts. My thoughts on all of it is, I'm enjoying Season of the Lost, and I cannot fucking wait for a Witch Queen. I really can't. It's a week off work for that. I can't wait.
Yeah. I think this is gonna be no life for the first while.
It's the biggest expansion since Taken King.
Yeah,
I'd actually go as far as saying that Witch Queen is going to be bigger than the launch of Destiny 2 for the game. What it does and how much it does, it's going to be as big as or bigger than the launch of vanilla Destiny 2. It's huge. It's going to be absolutely huge.
I think it's got a wider reach now.
Yeah.
Like so, Destiny 1 to Destiny 2 was more so the Destiny community just porting over from 1 to 2, whereas this, it feels like it's a wider grab. Which is obviously fantastic.
Can't wait.
But yeah, it's nice to start off on a good foot for the season. Hopefully the pace keeps well. We don't get that 3 to 4 week gap in between story beats. And even if we do, it won't be for another 5 months.
Yeah. I just hope they don't delay it. I hope Witch Queen doesn't get a delay. I don't think it will, but I hope it doesn't. It's a long enough season already. No, that's fine. I'll play other games and that. And we have plenty to keep us entertained coming up to Christmas anyway. We've got the dungeon, so that's all fucking great. That'll keep us going for a couple of weeks, hopefully.
That's one thing I think that because they didn't say it's coming out on January 1st or whatever, it's given themselves that extra room for delay. Like the end of February, that's practically 2 months into the year, you know, that kind of way. Like
plenty of time.
It's I think they're setting themselves up for that. If we cross these boundaries, like we have that wiggle room, you know.
That's true. One last thing, I do think since we keep talking about it, I think we're basically officially a Destiny podcast at this stage that talks about other games sometimes.
Destiny podcast with a bit of side quest in it.
Yeah. Destiny content, like Destiny comes up so often. There's so much content lately that it's all like I think every second or third podcast over the last month
is Destiny.
Destiny
but
related.
that's our pull. Like that's our base.
No, I'm happy talking about Destiny. No problem. But yeah, hopefully this.
I like talking about it when it's in a good place, though.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like when you're excited for it, because I don't like giving out about it all the time.
That's the thing.
We give out about it because we want it to succeed.
I think when it is in a bad spot, it's better off to just not talk about it.
Yeah.
Just ignore it.
Imagine that. Tell Twitter, please.
Hopefully next week it'll be the three of us back again. It's been 2 weeks in a row now. We've been two. So hopefully next week we have the.
Yeah, you're just interchanging some co-hosts here, Kev.
I'm gonna surprise you one of these weeks and just not show up.
Yeah.
Peace out. So yeah, I've said all I need to say.
Yeah, I think that was a nice introduction to our thoughts on the Witch Queen and Season of the Lost, and I'm sure we will revisit Season of the Lost over the next coming weeks.
I'm sure we will. They'll
especially when big story beats happen.
Yeah, they'll drop something out of nowhere, and they're like, "Shit, we need to talk about this." Yeah,
and it'd be nice to get Steven's view on it as well.
It will.
Also,
I'm looking forward to hearing what Steven thinks.
Yeah, he always looks at it from a different approach. It's one of those like, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah,
which I like.
True. He has that ability with a lot of things. He looks at them in different ways.
Yeah, and it's nice having that.
Just to compliment them a bit, he has a very good way of. He's a good storyteller. I don't think he realizes it. He
explains things so well.
Yeah. He's very good at looking at something and getting the knowledge to it, and then relaying that to you in a way that's very clear and concise. And it's like, oh yeah, I get it now. I didn't
think he'll never watch this.
I think he will. If so, Stephen, this is for you.
Yeah, come back next week. We promise we won't. Yeah,
we won't tell him he made a mistake in the overlay, but I fixed it, so it's fine.
Stephen. You had one job.
We will see you next week, I guess. Hopefully, with all three of us. Thanks for listening.
Yeah,
we kept it under 2 hours. Still, it's kind of
the first time ever.
All right. Peace.
Good. Bye.
Guardian now.